I don't know food, and so it's all kind of wickedness. We gotta. So I want to talk about spiritual wickedness tonight. The difference between deliverance and spiritual warfare is that deliverance is dealing with demonic bondages and getting the person free, but spiritual warfare is resisting and overcoming and defeating the enemy's lies in the form of deception, temptation, and accusation. So I want to look at something because deliverance and spiritual warfare are two different things. Deliverance involves breaking up around and tearing down strongholds and casting out demons, but spiritual warfare is dealing with three key things that the enemy sends at us. All right? Three key things that the enemy sends. Y'all ready? You might want to write them down. Spiritual warfare is different from deliverance. Deliverance is tearing down strongholds and casting out demons. That's deliverance. That's not spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is dealing with three key things that the enemy sends to us. We're going to deal with all three of them tonight. Now, the first thing that the enemy sends to us is temptation. Right? That's the first thing that the enemy sends to us. The second thing that the enemy sends to us is deception. And then the last thing that the enemy sends to us is accusation.
You said deception?
Yeah. Temptation, deception, and accusation. All right. So let's look at Ephesians 6, and I want to break this down so you can really get this. In verses 10 and 12, there are three things in verse 12 that we can expect from the devil. Three things in verse 12. You got verse 12. Verse 12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities, against powers, against the rulers of this dark world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places." All right. So primarily three things that I don't care how saved you are, how much you know Jesus, how much you go to church, how much you speak in tongues, how much you don't speak in tongues, how much you give. There are three things that we all wrestle with. Now, just name those three things. Temptation is number one. Deception is number two. And accusation. I don't care where you are in your spiritual walk. You're going to be tempted, you're going to be deceived, and you're going to be accused.
Yes.
That's a sermon right there. That's free. You take that to your job and talk to them about that tomorrow. Because what we got to understand is the devil knows what we like and what we don't like. Yes. In case of point, me and Tony went to the game Monday night, he was riding, and we were talking about the lotto, and he was saying, he's playing the lotto scene. I said, "Well, do you have your light bill money in your hand?" He was like, "No." I said, "Well, what's wrong with you using $2 or $3? Buy you some tickets." I said, "I don't know like one McDonald's." I said, "As long as you ain't buying $500 worth of tickets. I mean, $2 or $3, $10, whatever, but I ain't winning because I'm here." That's all I can tell you. If I would have won, I would have been on video. God bless you and keep you in our crowd. I have already wired 95 million to y'all account. Godspeed. Yes.
Well, is that considered is gambling considered a sin?
Okay, well let's talk about this. If you got stocks, if you got bonds, if you got mutual funds, if you're in a retirement system, your monies are tied up in legalized gambling. 401ks are in. I have 401ks. I got some stocks and some bonds and some stuff I ain't never heard of. My financial planner said, "You need to get some of this, I didn't get some of it." Sometimes it go up, sometimes it go down. Long when I get my quarterly statement, we cool, me and my broker cool. As long as I get my quarter statement and I look and I see I'm in the plus, I don't care if it's 25 cents. As long as I see a green, plus I'm good. When I see a negative, I'm like, I'm gonna take that out, put it over here somewhere, you know. So really, it's legalized gambling. It's just gambling on a sophisticated level. Because they do put out money in, they put out money in, what's the, like right now, I just don't know right now, I can tell you, I'm glad you asked that. Like I got a Fidelity account, and I get an email from Fidelity every day, whether the stuff that some of my stuff did go up or did go down. So what is it? If it's going up or going down, what is it doing? Ain't that gambling? It's a gamble because it ain't no guarantee.
Life is not a guarantee.
No. And life is a gamble. Because just because you leave home, don't mean you don't touch it.
Yeah, God doesn't gamble with our life.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't at all. He doesn't at all. He doesn't at all. So I think anything that you do in a whole lot is a sin.
If you overeat.
If you overeat, then blood, that's sin. And we all do that. I mean, so. But anyway, but I ain't winning, so we ain't gonna have that conversation. But you can't win if you don't play. That's all I gotta say. But I'll tell you this: I saw more Alabama tags than I did Georgia. I'm talking about creeping off the exit. I'm talking about creep. I'm talking about the line. Me Tony got to the exit. I'm like, nah, we ain't gonna stop right here. They're going on in. We couldn't even get to the line because the line was from the store to the interstate. So we went on to Douglasville. And that's what we got off. Because I know the people.
Another question.
Yes.
So, playing cards for money, shooting dominoes, not dominoes, dice. I'm curious. I'm gonna play.
It's a gamble.
However you look at it, it's a gamble. But if you got it,
But what I said was,
Take a chance.
if you're not taking your light bill money, you ain't taking $400 or $500 to buy no lotto tickets to put on no crap table.
but some people do that like saving in stocks though.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because see, I mean, like I know enough about stocks. I mean, I ain't no guru and I ain't got no whole lot of money, but the little coins that I do have, I know how to put what to put. Now, one thing that I do, I'm gonna tell you this here. If you got some stocks, or if you don't have no stocks, you just get in the stocks, you want to put your money in something. One thing about government bonds, the government ain't gonna never lose no money. Now you ain't gonna make a whole lot, but you ain't gonna never lose. And so, like everything, I mean, we all, I know how to play spades and still,
I know how to play spades.
yeah.
But I mean, it's just something that I asked.
Yeah, I got you.
I think if you're doing it for like recreational
Yeah,
purposes,
recreation,
there's
that's
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get caught up in it and make that your God, or you pay your tithes, but you down here drinking trash.
And can I tell you something, really, what Tamil is saying? I ain't no, let me just say this disclaimer, y'all know I ain't no Republican, but one of the reasons why the Republicans don't want the lotto here in the state of Alabama is because they say it would affect the African Americans more than any population in the state, which is true. Because you just gotta be honest. Because how many white folks? Wait a minute. Because how many white folks do you see down at the frontier? It's more us. No. And so what they're saying is that, I mean, this is their argument why they don't want the lotto and why they don't want this and that other. Is they saying, African Americans and low income whites will take a chance, take $200 that they need to pay on a bill, and go down and take a chance with the lotto. I agree. I'm just, hold on. The first thing I said was, I'm not a Republican. I'm just saying that's their sale, and that's what they're saying to, that's what they're saying. We don't need the lotto, we don't need this, we don't need that.
And I also heard the reason why they did not want it in the black belt areas is because the Democrats, the monies would help supply the Democrats for the campaign, and they did not want the Democratic candidates to have any money to run their campaign.
I agree. That's true. That's true. But we need some help in these schools.
And education, children would have money to go to school as well.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to child to go to college free? People the children in Georgia going to school free. Yeah, I mean, they going straight free.
And their tax rate is lower.
Yeah.
And they won't have no student loans.
Don't even talk about that.
That's
Just half the folk in the room that were wrong their credit. School wrong, tear their credit.
That's the time right now.
Yeah, the person that wanted to stop talking around and get the book to a money. Yeah. So let's go back to this. You got another question or you good?
I'm finished.
All right. So let's talk about these three spiritual warfare things that we all face. Temptation, for those of you that didn't write it. Deception and accusation. All right, and we're in Ephesians 6, and I got that out of verse 12. And you can look at the whole chapter when you go back home. It talks about we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness, of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so let's deal with. I won't do the obvious first, but I'll do deception first. So to deceive somebody means to make another person believe a lie or something that's not true. All right. So let's just deal with it. I believe that we are living in the most deceptive time that we have ever been in.
Yes.
Because take time out. I don't, and this is not to put our business out, but I had a conversation with my son about his skin. All right. Now I know he has skin like me. Our skin is sensitive. We can't take razors. I can't take no razors. My skin is so smooth and soft. I don't have to get no clear seal. I don't do all that. I use simple soap and water. That's what my skin been like that. My skin been sensitive all my life. My son has the same skin that I have. And so he get a little hair on his face and he can't work with the hair on his face. And he can't, the school that he goes to, they don't allow that. So he takes it upon himself to shave. All right? So I look at his face and it look like Nestle Crunch. Watch this now, I'm going somewhere. But I had already told you, the Father, the one that's already been through what you're going through. But you chose to believe somebody outside the house. Don't that sound like us?
Yes.
That the Father has told you, he already been through it. He's trying to keep you from, but you just got to do it on your own. So you have been deceived because you go to school with all the white people and they use straight razors and all that kind of stuff. And really, if you those of you that are in the hair, if you search our heritage, really, African American men shouldn't shave, period. We shouldn't shave, period. I mean, but that's all I'm gonna say. So I had already taught my son. Then Robert tried to help him out and brought him some no bump blades. And then he still not listening to the Father now. You look at my face. I don't have no hair bumps. It's some stuff that I put on my head and my face at night to keep ingrown hair from going, all that kind of stuff. I wash my face with no. I don't even really use soap when I wash my face. Because my skin is real oily, so I don't have real dry skin. So I'm telling him all this, but he still didn't believe. So when I got home last week, when I've been in Baltimore all week, his face broke out again. And so I said, didn't I tell you that there are certain things that you can't do just because everybody else do? Y'all missing shout. There are certain things in the body of Christ that even though you know other folk doing, you can't do it.
That's right.
Because of who you connected to. And so what we got going on in the body of Christ, and I thank God for that. And here's the thing, Kara and JR are just alike. It got to come to them for themselves. See, they ain't gonna believe that the Father said, okay, this ain't. No, they got to experience some stuff on their own. John Michael, he told the difference. If I say don't do it, he ain't gonna tell it. But JR and Kara, they got the experience on their own. So now his face is looking like Ness and the Crunch. And you know, he think he's cute and he's smart. Man, I gotta get rid of these bumps. Then you pick it at the bumps, and then just like his mama, they pick that bumps out. They don't live it. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is, just because you see somebody else's face smooth doesn't mean that they took the same journey that you took. And that's what we do. That's the deception in the body of Christ. That we look at somebody else's life and it looks smooth and it looks like, okay, well, if he can do that, I can do that. And then you don't know what they've gone through. And so that's deception. And so what we're dealing with in the body of Christ is that we're dealing with social media stage. We're dealing with, everybody on whatever social media you're on, and everybody really deceiving you. Because the real happy relationships ain't got time for social media. That's why, when me and Karen went to the game, me and Tony went to the game, and Tony's wife said, y'all, we was on the phone, I had called Karen, got the phone, Karen, he called his wife, and she was like, well, y'all take some pictures. I said, wait a minute, no, we ain't. I said, wait a minute, we men. We ain't taking no selfie, no man. He can send you a picture. I said he can send you his location. I said, well, we don't do that. But we live in this age where we gotta show people. We gotta show people how happy we are. You gotta show people. Folks know how happy you are. All you gotta do is pay attention to a couple for 5 minutes. And you can tell whether they like each other or not. It don't take no rocket science to figure out. So we're living in a deceptive world. So what we got on, we got all this deception, and we're teaching our children how to be deceptive. Let me tell you how we teach them. Whatever happened in this house. So a child grows up and don't know how to deal with conflict. Oh, my children ain't never heard me fuss. Well, they need to hear y'all fuss. Because they need to understand that you don't get along with folk all the time. What's wrong with African Americans, Jill, is that we have not been taught to resolve conflict in a healthy way. What we do, we argue. What we do, we argue, and we get hot, and somebody leave the house, then you come back when you cool off. You say you're sorry, you don't talk about it. You don't tell people how you felt about what they said. You just smooth over. And so what's happening is really our whole lives are deceptive. I had to tell one of my coworkers, the reason I put this on y'all friends with me on Facebook, but the reason I put that status up last night before I went to bed, because one of my coworkers basically almost had a heart attack trying to do some work that she should have let go. You almost have a heart attack. This job gonna go on whether you in ICU or not. You gotta learn how to do your job and leave it on the field. These folks, at the end of the day, they get somebody to replace you. And quit saying you can't be replaced on your job. Because you can't. And quit saying can't nobody do your job but you. That's a lie. Who was doing it before you? If somebody was doing it before you, and then somebody gonna do it after you. So I have learned that when I get ready to go somewhere, like I was gone for, when I came back on Monday, they were like, oh, Jeff, we miss you. Some of my patients were like, I don't want to see y'all till Jeff. When Jeff comes back. So So let's deal with this deception thing that's in the room. So what we gotta do, we gotta reteach our children. It's okay for your children to hear you, have your little Holy Ghost moment. And then, because they gonna have some moments. And so one thing that we don't do well is we don't teach our children, we don't discipline our children in a way that's healthy for them to survive outside of a black house. Because the teacher ain't gonna holler at your child. Teacher ain't finna holler at your child. The teacher gonna say 1, 2, 3. All right? That's what they do. They ain't gonna do that. But they can't. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you got 29 other children. They like, this ain't gonna be I know some of y'all teach one for
it's so amazing that you talk about this because I had a situation just like this that happened this morning. There's a child that I taught last year, always a good, even-keeled child. But at the end of last year, I had to stay with him about his attitude and him lashing out. And every time you say something, he would use his kindness and his intelligence as a cover up to say somebody else. And so this morning, I heard his teacher talk, just constantly on him this year. And I called him, and when God tells you to do something, you got to act on it right then.
That's right.
So I pulled him over to discipline him and the other child. And I said, sit down. I said, what's your problem? And I said it like that so I can get his attention.
Yeah.
And I told him, because I always tell my children, boys and girls, I love you. Because they don't hear that from nobody. But I tell them, I love you. I said, now you need to sit and talk to me because I need to be able to help you. And this child broke down right there and just boo-hooed. And this is the third grader. He boo-hooed and cried and said, I don't get a chance to spend enough time with my dad. And when he said that, I said, because I asked him, I said, you been fishing or you hung out with you? He said, I want to go fishing with him and he won't take me. I want to go hunt too. So this child just got to the point where he had to, it was a frustration point. And with that being said and done, we have a fall festival at our school. And I know he's a country kid. So I said, I'm going to be over hayride. He started smiling. I said, you're going to be my hayride helper. I said, if I get the tractor, you'll be sitting on the tractor with me or on the four-wheeler with me. And we'll be doing the hayride. Well, that was enough for him right there. And the rest of that day, the teacher said, whatever you said to him, I hadn't said nothing to him all day. But like you said, it was a deceptive moment that he was using to get his point across because he didn't know how to deal with it any other way.
Yeah, but that won't be my boy's testimony because I don't fish and I don't know. They don't like to go outside. So deception is to see somebody means to make another person believe a lie or something that's not true. And so, we know some master deceptionists. So here's the thing, when the enemy sends deception your way, it's an attempt to deceive you into believing something that's not true, so you fall into error.
I'm laughing because I seen this post on Facebook today.
Yeah.
It said, hey, when he seen me, I miss you, Ted.
Yeah.
He said, sis, don't fall for it.
You so crazy.
But we as adults are deceptive with the opposite sex at the same.
I agree.
Men will deceive women, saying that there's something that they're not, and saying, "Oh, I do this and I got this," and you have women who will do the same thing, and that's a serious issue.
We ain't doing
So what?
You ain't got no business saying no way.
Who knows? know that right. So let's move on from deception. So what we gotta understand is, here's the thing, here's the deception problem, and here's where it started. From the beginning, Satan deceived Eve into believing that God's word was not true. That's the first deception. In Genesis 3:4, the devil told her that she would not surely die, as God said that she would. Back to what I said originally. God telling you what to do, and somebody else telling you not to do what something else to do, and you do what somebody else say instead of what God said. Like, I just don't understand it. So the difference in us is that God has given us something that he has not given any other species on this earth, and that's free will. He's not going to make us do right. That ain't God's job. But it's his job to expose us to the truth, and that's why he calls men and women to teach and preach us the truth of the living God. And so what we got to understand is that you ain't going to be able to get to the judgment seat of Christ and say you didn't know. Because your life going to be flashed before your very eyes, and then that day, that when you tell God, well, I ain't know, he going to say, no, at 6:32 on Wednesday, October 24th, in 2018, that bald-headed preacher told y'all about deception, temptation, and accusation. And you didn't heed to it. And so here's the thing about God. And this is, I'm going from deception to temptation. Nobody in this room is perfect, but I would much rather God deal with me privately than public. Y'all miss your shout. See, you can do it the easy way. You can do it. You can confess your sins to God and tell him to help you.
Yeah.
Or you can continue to do what you're doing and God expose you. It ain't no difference in me and a preacher that's been caught in adultery. It's just that they got to the point where they were just so far out there that they were just scared to ask God for forgiveness. Too busy doing what they're doing and getting by. And then God said, okay, you might think you got away. Just because you got away, you don't mean you got by. So what I'm going to do is, since you won't deal with God secretly, because God will deal with, he deals with us in a secret way. He going to deal, listen, I'm going to confess to God. You might not confess to nobody else, but you need to confess it to the Lord. So he can deal with you, so you can cry, so you can smile, so you can tell God you're sorry and mean it from your heart. Because that's what David did. David's sin got blasted because he got too angry. He tried to make it right. He brought Uriah home and he put him on. He tried to make it right. Brought Uriah home and said, man, go. You know, I'm the king. Don't sleep with your wife. He said, no, I ain't going to do that. My men in battle, that ain't on my mind. I'm paraphrasing. That's 2018 version. Go ahead and get you some of Uriah. No, I ain't going to do it. That's what happened. That's the Bible. David tried to get Uriah to sleep with his wife. He already knew that he had got her pregnant. So he was trying to cover it up. Deception. And so that didn't work. So David said, well, this he ain't going to do right. Tell you what I'm going to do. Put him on the front line. I got to kill him. I got to kill him. And so here's the thing. And because David refused, all the other time you ain't talked to God about it, now all of a sudden, now you want to talk to God. When the prophet came to you and told you, okay, I know you killed, God know you killed you right, and the blood is on your hands, and Bathsheba is pregnant with your child. But I tell you what, the prophet told you, but the child won't die. That's when David wanted to talk to the Lord. Isn't it amazing that we want to talk to the Lord after we done did everything? And the Bible says that David cried all night long, pleaded with the Lord, and the Lord still wouldn't move, and the baby died. That was the sacrifice that they went. So I would tell people, and not tell people that I counsel, they get into stuff, and I say, listen, it's easy for you to confess with God and let God deal with you in the secret way, and let people deal with you in the open way. I mean, the whole thing is, I think that sometimes people are so far out in what they're doing that they just really think that it ain't going to happen to somebody else, but it'll never happen to me. And the thing that time you say it will never happen to you, it'll happen. Alright? So we go from deception to temptation. Now let's deal with temptation. Temptation, it follows deception. Because first the enemy tells you, like he told Eve, you won't die. Then he makes the fruit on the forbidden tree look good to you. So first he lied to you. Then he tells you, this is what you need to be. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it's artificial turf, sometimes, but if you always looking at somebody, why don't you water your own grass? Maybe your grass will turn green if you water it, if you tend to it. And so what the enemy does, he deceives us and plants stuff in our mind and get us to thinking that our situation is so bad. So you got somebody talking to you in your ear, telling you how pretty you is, telling you fine and cute and all that, and your husband or your spouse ain't telling you all that. And so you are being deceived. And then you're looking at the fruit and it's tempting. Oh, y'all ain't, I can't hit nobody. Y'all stop breathing. I'm been with Jesus. I'm telling you that. Last week, I needed last week. I needed Baltimore. So, you know, and you look at your, and so what the enemy does, it makes you, you look at your situation, and you're like, well, he ain't that, she ain't that, she ain't all that, I don't like this about, I don't like that about him, and but this dude look good. And back to what she said, and then all the time, he's staying with his mama. And using somebody else's phone to text you. Deceptive. What you said? I'm on your street. Okay.
I don't know what she's talking about.
We talking about deception and temptation. So, what happens since, what's that? He got to have his own way. You don't know what he got. You just know what he told you. So watch this. So Eve, I've known people to stay up people's houses and this. Tell you. So since Eve accepted Satan's deception, his lie, now the tree that she was not supposed to touch looked good to her. So she was tempted, she was enticed to sin because she allowed herself to first be deceived. And any time that you allow yourself to be deceived, you're going to be tempted. Yeah.
Did God tell Adam or did he tell Eve?
He told Adam.
He didn't tell Eve. He told Adam.
That's true. I'm
Y'all like to try to put all that on.
No, but the promise was to Adam.
Right.
And because Eve was connected to Adam, nothing really happened when you read the story and it gets mistaught and that nothing happened until Adam did.
Adam did.
He left instructions for the man.
Yeah, he left instructions for the man.
But
Nothing
go
happened.
back to-
She had deceived, the snake deceived her now.
Right.
But nothing happened until.
Adam did because the covenant was with him.
Exactly.
Not with Eve.
But
So y'all
y'all
see,
see, but y'all men ain't know how to communicate since the beginning. He was staying away from that tree. We wouldn't have any money.
If we stayed away from that tree, there's a whole lot of stuff gonna be going on. But it was all in the plan.
But so Eve tempted her husband with the apple. But the snake
She
deceived
enticed
her.
him.
Same.
We don't know what she did to him. Cause y'all got a way, y'all can get in. Yeah, I mean, he did give us the charge. I agree. He did give us the charge. I do understand, as the preacher told us last week when he was preaching this text about the snake, understand that when God cursed the snake, he told the snake that he was going to bruise his heel and he will crawl on his belly. So that lets you know that for the snake to crawl on his belly, it had legs. It had to first have legs first.
Yeah.
For God to curse it and say, now from the rest of the time, I'm gonna bruise your heel and you're gonna crawl on your belly. I was like, man, I just ran over that in the scripture. He brought out, and we deal with snakes with legs.
Yeah.
We deal with snakes with legs.
That's right. Yeah, sure do.
Some of them bow legged. Some of them knock-kneed. Some of them pigeon toed. I'm just saying. But I'm gonna ask Alan what she did to him. She did something to him. He lost his mind. All right, so she allowed herself to be first deceived. Now, temptation is when we are enticed or encouraged to sin in one way or another. Y'all need to write that down. Temptation is when we are enticed or encouraged to sin in one way or another. Now, let's deal with temptation. When we are enticed or encouraged to sin. That's why you gotta have a friend that when you go to talk crazy, like, I'm gonna need him and the children, I don't care that about. You gotta have a friend that say, I can't say what I want to say, but you gotta say, help sit down. You ain't going nowhere. Take this drink, come on down. I'll take it back home when you cool off. You can't have no friend that's like, I'm gonna help you back. You gotta have some.
But that's the reason why as Christians we're supposed to be truthful.
Yeah, exactly.
Be truthful and tell a person the right thing.
We gotta tell the person the right thing. Right thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like me in college. A lot of my friends used to wonder why I would sign up to be a business driver. How was that possible? How can you have fun without this, without that? And they didn't know, of course, my past like I would. But we'll get to the part and they just drink one. And I will square them in their eye and tell them, no, get out my face, try me or something. I'm willing to push you, move you, for you to tempt me. And afterwards, they always ask me, how do you have that? Because no one tells me what to do if I don't want to do it. If I do something, that's just me buying into your temptation, but it's my choice. Temptation, and we all have it, but I know in college it was one of those things for me. I'm not going to be that person you read about. I'm not going to be that girl.
That ain't anybody's testimony.
Well,
That's so nice. That's so nice. I was not. I would never do that.
I will stop talking, I promise you. But in college, I know exactly what you're saying. When I went to the parties, they had the fraternity parties, and they would have this big bowl of punch. And everybody said, do you want to drink? I said, no. I said, I told you, you're just a square. I said, you can call me any kind of geometrical figure you want. I said, I want to. And we have to teach our children to be strong and not be enticed or tempted. It takes one drink. If they put some in it, you will never be the same.
I agree. All right, any other questions before we move on? All right. So temptation is when we are enticed or encouraged to sin in one way or the other. It could be right, it could be wrong. But if we're encouraged, enticed, the wrong way to sin, it's temptation. So Jesus was led out of the desert to be tempted by the devil. Jesus saw through Satan's deception and he resisted the temptation by speaking God's word. And so the classic is coming up this week. It's gonna be a whole lot of deception going on. Whole lot of deception. Booty pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extra hair added. Nails. I mean.
Somebody taking out a payment plan right now.
Huh?
Somebody taking out a payment plan right now for 26 hours.
Somebody taking out a paper plan for
Payment
what?
plan for some hair right now.
Oh, they get a paper plan for this?
Payment plan.
Oh, that must be for the good hair.
Yeah, for good hair.
That's the $600 hair?
No, that's $1,000 hair.
They got $1,000 hair?
60.
What, you got to go to that level to get that? Jesus Christ. Now that's deception. So,
But somebody that don't have to cut their hair and sell it, couldn't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
that's what they do. Because it's human hair, right?
yeah.
Right.
So somebody got to. It's human hair. But is that the hair that you can keep for 3?
Yeah, now the hair will last a long time, like regular hair. It's human hair.
I mean, well, that's kind of
It is
investment.
an investment, but the fact that you're putting on the payment plan and you probably aren't paying your own bills, you're living with your mom, so that means you can't afford it. It's not that there's anything wrong that you're trying to spend your extra money, but like you said, people are about to be deceptive. A lot of people don't see the women like that, think they got it going on, and then they go back and they don't. I mean, for example, it's gonna cry.
They better watch that deception, because we got some stuff going on. Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, you cannot find a rental car in a 100-mile radius of Birmingham. All the cars rented out.
Yeah, they rent the car.
You know why? You know why? All right. So, I found this little quote. This quote says, when the enemy tempts you, he's showing you the worm. But behind the worm is a hook. Somebody need to write that down. When the enemy tempts you, he's showing you the worm. But behind the worm is a hook. And what you need to help you see the hook behind the worm is the word of God.
Yes.
That's what you need. All right. So we got deception, so we got temptation. And let's deal with the last one, then I'm going to talk about accusation. Revelations 12:10, you don't have to turn there, you just, that's just for your reference. The devil is known as the accuser of the brother. He is known to take a believer who has done an embarrassing or gross sin in their past and continue to rub it in their face and beat them down with guilt and condemnation over their past. And a lot of people can't get over what they were, what they used to do, and who they used to be. People keep bringing that up, and so people get frustrated and all this kind of stuff. And so you got to understand that, like I said on the offset of the lesson is, I much rather God deal with me in secret than deal with me openly. All right? And so what happens is that, I think people are so engulfed in what they're in, they don't pay attention, they don't think about what they're doing. It's bad. It's sad. I mean, I see it every day. I see people in the healthcare field, and I know some of you see it that work in the healthcare field. I don't understand how, if I had a nursing license, I'm not putting my license on the line for a dime bag a week. I'm just not finna squeeze no fitna patch. It's people that's actually addicted, so they're not thinking about that they, got people still patching off dead bodies. It's crazy. It's all kind of stuff. I ain't talking about the dead, but you know, but we hear those stories of stuff that's going on. And so, so what we gotta do, in that with the accusations, it's anytime that the enemy can get you to think about your past more than your present and your future, then he got you. Let's just get on the fact that we all got a past. We wasn't born saved, we wasn't born filled, we did some stuff, and that's our testimony. And some stuff we share, and most of it we don't share. That's all there is to it. You ain't gonna tell nobody everything you did. Some stuff you want to forget. Like, one of the reasons I sympathize or I empathize with the new Supreme Court justice, because I believe that something happened to the young lady. But I mean, I've been out of high school 20-some years, and somebody may come up and say, I touched her. I can't remember. I may have. I just don't, I mean, because you know, when your name get famous, watch this now. When your name get famous, it's folks that in your past that knew you when you had some accusations, they want to discredit your current situation because of your past. And so that's what the enemy does. The enemy tries to continue to bring up our past and what we did in the past, you know, how we did it, and deter us and keep us from thinking about what we once was or what we once did, and not get to the point of the present situation. All right? Any questions on that? I'm almost done in that 5 minutes. I messed y'all up with accusations. I'm sorry. Y'all been accused?
That may not have been an accusation.
Huh?
It may not have been an accusation.
It may not be an accusation for him. I mean, but I can see how it happened. I mean, it could happen to me. It could very well happen to me. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I did in high school, middle school that I'm just saying. I mean, so if somebody come up and say, hey, Jim took me apart when we was in 8th grade, I probably did. I worked on your dude now. I probably did. Yeah, come back then, that's who I was.
This is not a joke.
Yeah.
And then he did more than what.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to break the ice.
That's a block.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, let me give you some weapons to fight deception, to fight temptation, and to fight accusation. Okay, you ready? We have 2 weapons to deal with deception. It's in Ephesians 6, verse 14. Ephesians 6, verse 14. We got 2 weapons to deal with deception. That's the belt of truth and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Those are your weapons to fight deception. Tell the truth. There's something I was counseling a couple one time, and the person said, if you tell me the truth, I will work on whatever we're going through, and I promise you I'm going to stay and we're going to work. And I told the person right there, it was husband and wife, and I told him, I said, don't do that. I said, don't do that. The dude got mad. I said, oh. I said, because you ain't, I knew the truth. Bro, you ain't going to be able to help me to tell me. And I said that to say this, that even though in 99% of the time we should tell the truth, is some stuff that you got to take to your grave and tell Jesus. I'm just saying, because sometimes what people ask for, they can't have it. So you got to be careful when you're dealing with deception and temptation, and then something happen, and then you tell the person, now look, I just want to know, just tell me the truth. And then they tell you the truth, and then you have a couple part, but ain't that what you asked for? So some truths we can't help. Why y'all women look like that? I mean, I'm gonna say this. Y'all say men are deceptive, but I think women are the master deceptors. I'm gonna tell you why. Watch this. Because men are not that smart.
That's right.
All right? We ain't that smart. So watch this. Watch this. Let me tell you, I've seen this. I've seen this with my own eyes.
That's right.
You can be with your dude, and another dude call your phone. And your dude could be sitting right next to you. You're going to pick up that phone. You're going to be talking.
That's right.
Yeah. Just like that. Okay, just going to be talking like that. Listen, these are the signs, man. We together. See, they tell them. Yeah, we ride in the street. But yeah, I'm going to hit you back later. And you be like, oh, that was so-and-so. Yeah, that was Then, let somebody call. You gonna answer this? And here's what y'all say. You gonna answer your phone. You up there talking slow. Time you get up, she eyeballing you, she already know. First thing she gonna say, now who was that? So y'all be talking to your whole dude. Cause we ain't like that. We just, our minds don't work like that. Like y'all are forethinkers. Y'all ain't got this thing planned out.
Yes, sir.
But somebody be like, oh Lord, Jesus. It vibrates so loud. What's that?
Accomplished by God and subterfuge, but men will do by direct action.
Come on with it, Jim. Don't worry about it too deep. He said a quote. Don't worry about it. He'll tell y'all that we got to finish up. I'm almost out. Let me give y'all these other weapons. So you got two weapons in Ephesians 6:14. The belt of truth and the sword of the spirit. Now, both are truthfully defined in the word of God, so we'll give it two different names, a sword and a belt. Alright? Because one is meant to be defensive. The belt of truth is meant to be defensive, while the other is meant to be offensive. The sword. Alright? And so what that means is that the word of God is both offensive and defensive. Alright? So a belt is something that we wear around to guard us against attack, while a sword is used to slaughter the enemy. So you use the belt of truth, God's word, to guard against the enemy's deception, lies, that he sends your way, while you use the sword of the spirit, his word, to tear down existing strongholds, deceptions that took hold in your mind. And so when you put all that together, and so let me say that slowly. So you use the belt of truth, which is God's word, to guard against the enemy's deception, the enemy's lies, that he sends your way, while you use the sword of the spirit to tear down strongholds and deceptions that took hold in your mind. So everybody ain't out to get your man. Everybody ain't hating on your relationship. You know, if you tell the truth, y'all really don't like each other like that. Y'all friends for the book and all. All that, and single folk, and you don't have no single friend. That ain't true. You do have single friends. Married people do have single friends. You just don't. They just ain't that close. I hear people say all the time, "Well, I don't want my spouse to have no single friends." Well, everybody that you talk to ain't married. That's just not reality. So how can you say that you don't want your spouse to have no single friends? Like, what is that about? Is your relationship not strong enough? That's the problem. Now, when you in a marriage, what needs to happen is that whatever friends you have, Even though they may not be your spouse friends, they need to become mutual friends. Ooh, I wish I could go. Y'all need to pay me for this counseling that I'm putting on this table. They gotta be mutual friends. I ain't talking about they gotta be your best friend. Don't have to be your spouse's best friend, but your spouse need to know who your friends are. And so if you hide friends from your spouse, what you hiding from? The room just got cold, Jesus.
I'll stick one, don't want y'all name.
They say,
I don't know about
all right, so challenge accepted. The second one is, and I'm done. Write down James 4:7. And James 4:7. You challenge the temptation. James 4:7, he tells us to resist the devil and he will flee from us. But it's not that simple. In the same verse, we are also told to draw near to God. And so when you deal with temptation, it's a twofold process of submitting to God and resisting the devil. All right? So the closer you get to God and the more you become aware of his love, the less power temptation will have over you. The closer you get to God, the less power temptation will have. I ain't say you won't be tempted.
Right, yes.
But the less power. Case in point, today, me and Jamie probably watches, she watches Bible study sometimes. Jamie is one of my good friends at work. She a white girl, sweet girl, single. So Carol knows, we friends, all that kind of stuff. So we had a visit today. It's so funny. So we doing our spiel, she social work on chapter, we talking, we going through our visit. And so the lady, not the patient, but the patient's spouse, the female said, so y'all work together every day, huh? And we were like, yes, ma'am. And then she was like, are you married? And James was like, no, I'm not married. And said, Jeffrey, are you married? I said, yeah, I've been married 18 years with 2 boys. Oh, that's great. I don't know how I feel. But having my spouse work with a woman that looks like that every day. And I said, me and Jacob bust out laughing. So Jacob was like, oh, I know Carol, me and Jacob been working together for a few years, and there's nothing like that. And so they was like, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can take that. Then the husband said, there's a reason why you couldn't take it. And I said, okay, I think this visit over. I said, come on, let's pray. So I said all that to say this, that if your relationship is not to the point that you can have other friends or co-workers or whatever, I don't hang out with my co-workers like that. I mean, we go from stuff, but even if I'm hanging with my co-workers or something, I don't go alone. Like if Carol don't. I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to make. And so what happens with temptation is you can be tempted by anything. I mean, I've been doing good. I'm off of Pepsi, drinking nothing. And then somebody came in with a Pepsi with some ice in it today. Like in the morning, like at 8:30 in the morning, I'm like, oh, Jeff, I had this. I'm like, man, why you doing it? Temptation. Temptation, right? I resisted the devil and you flee. All right, I'm out of time. All right, the last thing I'm going to give you, challenge accusations. Ephesians 6:16. The accusations are sent our way. For example, when the devil tries to accuse us of our past sins, we got to have faith in the work of the cross and know that our forgiveness, we are forgiven and don't look back. So people can accuse you, okay, yeah, I remember, yeah, okay, but that's painful though. You have to remind people and remind yourself that whatever you did in your past is your past. It's your past. It's your past. I'm done. When we talk about child accusation, I know y'all saw who watched it. Haven't had a lot of that night? Y'all watched it last night? Some of y'all watched it? So the thing that, and it's funny because we were having this discussion on a preacher's board. Sometimes preachers over-spiritualize or theologicalize everything. One of the preachers on his chat board that I'm on Facebook said, this is a chat board for preachers. Well, I don't know what a group chat board for preachers. He said, the thing that I don't like about this whole have and have not situation is is that it's sitting mixed signals. 1 minute Hannah calling out demons, and the next minute she's rolling on the couch with the dude. And he said, and he had a bad point. He said, and that's why the church don't believe. That's why people that don't come to church don't believe that we're Christians. And I came back on and said, but you got to understand, Hannah ain't in the spirit already. And when she rolled with that man, she in a spirit, but not that spirit. Because Hannah is a woman. And that man is a handsome man. And she been tempted. And he tempted him. Ain't no way you're right. I'm just saying. So I told them, no, we're not sending mixed signals. That's reality. That's a reality. I mean, she ain't in no spirit, she ain't in church. That's why men be mad. Men trying to keep all that from happening. That's why he don't like the man, because he know what. Anyway, all right, I'm done. All right, so I have given you some tools. I have given you some. You might need to go back and watch this to grasp everything that we said. But understand that the enemy can attack any of us. You are not exempt. You are not exempt. I was one of my colleagues that I'm trying to help, dude I know. I was trying to help him get a job at another place that I know. And he said, he called me after he got the job. And he said, man, I'm sitting in an interview for a job, trying to get a job. And I say I know you, and she said, if I can get Jeff Thompson over there. And he said, what you doing with these folks? I said, I'm doing my job, and I'm staying out the way. I said, you do your job to the foot. I said, but then I don't play with nobody. I don't laugh when stuff ain't funny. And I don't itch when I don't scratch when they itch. I mean, they're in this business that I'm in, because I am in the minority, I have to make sure that I'm straight. Because there's so many people. What we do emotionally, if I was a womanizer, this is the wrong job for somebody that loves to deceive women. Because you catching families at a vulnerable moment. You hugging them, you connecting with them, they loved one dying, you holding that loved one hand, you holding their hand. If you ain't in the right frame of mind, right spirit, that can be misconstrued. They can be deceived. Because they ain't gonna remember the nurse that gave on morphine, but they gonna remember the chaplain that prayed. And the chaplain that's gonna come visit in the bereavement process after it's over. Because that's part of my job. And so if I didn't have the right spirit, the right frame of mind, this would be crazy. I have accusations. It's just real. And to be honest, that's what happens in this line of work. That a lot of men can't handle this because people are vulnerable and stuff happens.